Hey everyone, the weather's really nice here today. It was 80 degrees in my apartment, but the smoke detector started going off, so I decided I have to put the air conditioning on. For me, that's a nice temperature. I mean, I grew up in Africa, so, but with all these technology and things, I guess that's what it was, because I didn't have any food cooking or anything, and it started going off, so I thought I'll put the air conditioning on and just leave it on. I usually keep it around like 75, but I was enjoying the hot weather, but I don't want the smoke detector going off because then the fire brigade will come here. So for today, I'm looking at this book by John Maxwell, Success is a Choice. Make the choices that make you successful. And I guess that's something that you start in your childhood. For anyone who has their children following me, there's a quote he gives in here from Dr. Seuss, and it's from all the places you'll go. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. And so he's basically pointing out that what people do, and this is true, I noticed this, especially in companies, if you want to have success, you need to focus on not what they call your talent, but focus on your skills, focus on what is it that you're good at, that you can develop. Because if you're focusing on your weaknesses, the areas you're not good in, you can only increase in those areas by maybe another 2 percentage points. Not talking about character weaknesses, but what you're capable of in your work, in what you're doing. It's like if I say that I'm not an executive assistant, I'm an engineer and a construction worker, I can build your house. Well, that's not true. And if you put me in that job, most likely I'll botch up how I build your house and you won't be able to live in it. So you have to choose. Everybody has talent, but we need to develop the talent in the areas we're good in, and we need to focus on those areas and refine them so that we can build success in our life. In today's world, things are changing. So AI has brought in a lot of changes, but there are still some areas where you're always going to need the human side of things. You're going to need people who are compassionate, people who bring soft skills to the table, people who know how to help teams come together, people who know how to improve the business so that morale doesn't go down. Those kinds of things you're not going to be able to get a robot to do. A robot might be able to be programmed to say them, to do them, but it's not the same thing as dealing with a human being. So I think in the future that's what's going to be important. And already people are turning away from AI. People are warning us about the dangers of AI and using it responsibly. So in the workplace, that's important. And for children, that's an important thing to remember, because we have to steer ourselves from the time that we are small. We have to be taught to make our own decisions. We have to be empowered to make our own choices. Not to have somebody keep telling you what to do, what to live, how to live, what to speak, what to say. And the unfortunate thing is that in today's world, there is a lot of government control. There's a lot of government overreach. But we can still make choices. We can still push back on that and choose to create the lives that we want to have. So there's a few things in here that he mentions, and I just want to read them out. He says, I've discovered 14 key choices that can make a difference. Commit to choices that bring success. Believe in yourself. Fire up your passion. Initiate action. Focus your energy. Value preparation. Embrace practice. Embody perseverance. Demonstrate change. demonstrate courage, become more teachable, develop strong character, cultivate good relationships, commit to responsibility, lean into teamwork. So nobody does things on their own. Yes, there's things that I've accomplished on my own, but I'm living in a society. I'm living in a team. I'm living in a family of nations. Nobody is completely alone in this world. You might experience feelings of frustration, of loneliness, of hardship, but those feelings come and go. It's our will. In the Catholic tradition, this is not from his book, from John Maxwell, but in the Catholic tradition, it's the will that is important. It's your decision, it's my decision that I'm not going to give up and I am going to be successful. And that's true of anything. If I hadn't chosen to persevere in my education, I wouldn't have graduated. If I hadn't made the decisions I made to get my certification in HR, to go to college, to do things, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm an average student. If you look at my high school grades, or you look at like junior school grades, my average is a C. If you look at the senators in America, or even people running the countries, their average grades were C's. They were not brilliant people. When I came here, I went into Rothman based on my university education. But at university, I got more support. I got more nurturing because I had reached the higher education. So I got more support, and then I became an A student. And I passed everything. At university, at Wits, at Rothman. Rothman was different. Rothman, you are not given that nourishment. You're not given that guidance. It's basically about what you are bringing to the table and how are you going to contribute as an executive. But I got that nurturing at Wits. I got that nurturing at Regis College because, again, I went from a business background into a theology background. There are two completely different ways of using your brain and two completely different arts. One is the art of commerce, the other is the art of the fine arts. But because I was able to bring those together, I was able to make a success of my ministry. When you have over 200 people following you on YouTube, that's considered a community. So I don't have the millions like others who are making a passive income from it, but I have some success with it. It shows that people are interested in my talks, in my leadership development, in my thought process, and that's how you go to being a success. You don't give up. If you give up, you're not going to be a success. And not everybody is going to believe in your dreams, in what you want to accomplish. And like Strive was saying, Strive Masiere from, I hope I said his last name right, from Zimbabwe, from EcoBank, when he tried to set up his phone company, he got pushback from the government. And he actually had to go to court to get the approval to do the work he wanted to do in Zimbabwe. And he graduated in America. He won his case. But, people laughed at him, people made a joke of him. He went home and he prayed for strength. There's an article I posted from the internet. And that's what I do. That's what we all have to do. We have to ask God to give us that strength not to give up and to persevere. Because in life, many people will call us failures, many people will laugh at us, many people will ridicule us, many people will reject us. But the one who will never reject us and our source is God. So that's what I wanted to share for today. That's only the first few points are just from the first chapter. And today I got my benefactor's prayer from St. Jude. shrine. Unfortunately, I'm still not working. I'm completely broke, so I can't make any donations to them. But when I get into that good paid job, I will resume making the donations and I will continue to be a benefactor to them. And until that point, they will keep me on as a benefactor to the shrine. Because what we give is not only our money, we offer our prayers, we join in the Mass online, and that's not just with the St. Jude Shrine that I'm with. It's also with my parish, it's also with EWTN, with the Marian Helpers, with the Jesuits. It's not just about the money, it's also about the prayers, the moral support. It's about everything else that I do around that. And the money is an important piece, but God is not in my money. God is God. And that's what I wanted to share today. If you have everything else and you don't have God, you are not a success. Because this world is under Satan's control. It's a God-created world, but the things that are driving it by the Bilderberg Group and others are not the right values.